not a tent. This is not a porta potty. This is squalor that you're paying premium prices that people would kill to have so they can find a decent place. You're actually paying to be homeless. Well, it's over. The Influencer Olympic event of the year, also known as Coachella, seems to have wrapped up. And I'm only using these words because this is what I have been inundated with in every platform I could possibly be part of. That either it was really, really bad, good for some, rich Coachella, poor Coachella, no Coachella. I'm adding stink Coachella, ick Coachella, what the hell Coachella, and when did you lose the plot Coachella?
These new videos of people showering at Coachella has to be one of the most nastiest things I have ever seen, and you couldn't pay me any amount of money to do it. You are paying tens of thousands of dollars to suffer for 4 days. And this is where it gets even more worser, because there's different tiers of showers, where the most lowest tier, there are people literally waiting in line for hours just so they can get like a freezing cold shower. And even more insane are some people are literally walking miles to get from their campsite to the shower to wait in line for potentially hours, where people spend hundreds of dollars on shower accessories to make their own shower tents because they don't want to wait in the most longest line ever. But this is where it gets more better, because you can basically skip that line for $10. And this is where it gets more better because it's basically the exact same thing, just for $10 more. And everybody's phones are always overheating. But comparing that to the rich side of Coachella, where there are seemingly no lines for showers, they literally supply you with everything. Coachella is literally the real life Hungry Games. You'd literally have to pay me $1 million to do this. Would you ever go to Coachella?
Because of this year's algorithm, I've had to now understand what was the main purpose of this event. Because I really didn't pick up on this until last year when the drama started with the influencers trying to get to Coachella and begging, and it didn't really resonate with me, so I never really paid too much attention. But now it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I have to say, why? Why are people paying upwards of thousands of dollars to sit in a desert in California, disgusting remnants of what I believe is Woodstock, elevated, but not at a good level either? You have people on the internets, YouTube predominantly, and TikTok, who are screaming bloody murder about how this event has taken place. And after I've scoured and listened to at least 75 variations of this damn event, I have come to the conclusion that there's a schism in this country. Because there was a time when people had money, good money. They would pay for the finer things in life. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. You will go out of your way to make yourself comfortable, to be surrounded by a shower, multiple showers sometimes, ridiculously priced homes and decorated homes, but that's what you would predominantly use your money for, the outward looking people. Now, when I look at these videos for Coachella, and there are variations of incomes, but the reality is, no matter whether you're pro or poor Coachella or rich Coachella, people are paying through the nose for all of it.
Coachella is this weekend in California, and the prices are literally insane. Let's start off with the ticket prices. General admissions almost $4,000, and if you want to add the shuttle, it's another $500. And VIP is $6,694. So if you want to rent a camper van for the weekend, it's $4,900. Then once you get in, it's $99 for a charging locker to charge your phone. If you want to rent a tent at Coachella, It's $10,000. Also, house rentals in the area are crazy, $25,000 on average. And if you want a VIP suite for 10 people, you're dropping $70,000.
The experience. And the experience is supposed to be the festival in a desert that looks like, from when it starts with the tents, the car camping, and the freaking Airbnb disasters, plus the people who get flown in from, what are these influencers that get flown in from, these people that pay them to go. There's nothing in there that I felt that this should have been what the festival was intended to. So what I did, I checked online and I said, what was the purpose of Coachella? So now I'm going to read to you what Google told me, which I didn't know about this. Okay. And this is how the hilarity starts. Okay. Coachella was created. I have my computer, so I'm reading because I wanted to make sure I remembered this. Okay. Coachella was created in 1999 to bring a European style artist focused music festival to the U.S. desert, providing a curated, diverse alternative to corporate driven tours initially prompted by the 1993 Pearl Jam concert protest. I don't remember this protest. I was alive, but I don't remember. The original purpose and evolution. This is what Google's telling me. Okay? Artist-focused alternative. Founded by Paul Toilette, I don't know if I'm butchering that name, of Golden Voice, the festival was designed to showcase alternative and indie artists who were not necessarily mainstream chart successes. Let's focus on that for a second. Acting as a magnet for music fans. So when you say that it was originally for indie artists who were not necessarily mainstream, so no Justin Bieber who attended the festival, so no Sabrina Carpenter also who attended the festival and performed, Jennifer Lopez, I don't know what she is, but she was there and she performed. So you mean to tell me that, and let's go into Cat's Eye. So I have a question. Are these, let's look at the words again. Indie artists who are not necessarily mainstream. So none of these people are mainstream? None. None? Are you sure? Because then who is mainstream? Let's start with that. So we've lost the plot there. Okay? At least I feel that way. Because all these artists that perform can go on tour. And you can pay to go into the theaters to watch them, not in the desert. I thought indie artists, maybe I'm wrong, did indie artists change over the years that I missed it? Indie artists, up and coming artists, unique people that, that you may not always be able to get them on stage because they can't go on tour. Let's go down the pipeline because then the fun part's going to begin. How much all this cost? It serves as a premier showcase for music, art, and fashion, evolving into a major commercial cultural phenomenon and influential trendsetter. That's what it has evolved to. Clearly. But let's go into the Pearl Jam effect because I had no clue what was going on. The Pearl Jam effect following a 1993 Pearl Jam show at the Empire Polo Club protesting Ticketmaster. Promoters realized the venue could host large-scale non-corporate events. So when all these brands not only are present at this thing, right, and they pay for influencers to go there to influence the influencee of the influence of their brand, are the non-corporate event Was that what is that? How do I understand this? Isn't that the epitome of a corporate event? And this whole Ticketmaster crap? Well, from what I understand, the people who were buying the tickets at the Coachella website, the official one, though it may not be Ticketmaster, were scammed out of the tickets. They would buy the tickets and then they would get to the event and they were told that the tickets that they got from the official website of Coachella, it no be good. Get out. And when I tell you tickets, these tickets are not $300 for a space to stand in the desert. We're talking about upwards of $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000. My favorite part. I wasn't alive for Woodstock, but it was supposed to be an anti-Woodstock. It was launched as a cleaner, safer, more organized, and intimate alternative to the chaos of the 1990s festivals. Where in all of this that I'm about to show you makes you feel that was cleaner, safer, and more organized?
These are all the disasters that have happened at Coachella so far. First of all, getting in was a nightmare, but besides that, the sleeping area was so windy that people's tents and canopies were flying across the parking lot, scratching and destroying cars, and even one person had a tree fall on their tent. And if you look at these angles here, sharp branches entered the tent. Luckily, nobody was seriously injured. They canceled Anima's set because the wind was so strong and they thought it would be dangerous for viewers.
Did you see any of that? Because I didn't. There are people who were waiting hours to take a shower, use the facilities, sleep in a tent, sleep in their car, in the middle of the desert, anti-Woodstock. If this is in the archives of, being able to search for it, how did we get to this point where people are paying an exorbitant amount of money to watch their group on a stage? Is it because they're all going to be there and you don't have to go to separate, concerts to see them? Well, you know what? I'd rather see them separately in a much cleaner, safer environment like an amphitheater. Okay? Because the torturous stories that are coming out of this debacle is frightening for any age level. Me, I'm Gen X, and every gen underneath, because even the younger ones that were there are saying this was a horrible, horrible experience. It doesn't mean that other people didn't have a good experience. But you could imagine how much they paid for that good experience, or if they were if they paid at all, because they may have been flown in from the corporate people to go there and live lavishly for 3 days. Some of the rentals for these houses were upwards of $70,000, even up to $100,000. So if you really think about it, you can share that with 500 of your closest friends and split it 500 ways. And maybe you can actually still afford to eat what was considered food that were upwards of nothing under realistic food, $40, $50. There was a coffee for $17. There's water for $80. There's chicken nuggets with a spoonful of caviar that is $125. There's pizza slices for $34. And you complain about New York pizza slices prices? Okay?
These are all the disasters that have happened at Coachella so far. First of all, getting in was a nightmare, but besides that, the sleeping area was so windy that people's tents and canopies were flying across the parking lot, scratching and destroying cars, and even one person had a tree fall on their tent. And if you look at these angles here, sharp branches entered the tent. Luckily, nobody was seriously injured. They canceled Anima's set because the wind was so strong and they thought it would be dangerous for viewers.
This is outrageous. People were saving up all year, leaving that place at least $10,000 in the hole to be in a hole in the desert because they couldn't even afford a proper place to stay. They were staying in their cars, like I said, showering in buckets, showering in these shower facilities that were $10 for cold showers. I don't even understand the logistics of going to the bathroom. I have a fear of public bathrooms. And when you show me any of that, oh my God, no, I can't. And if everyone looked like they were having fun, it's the desert. It's hot. Some of these tents that they were renting, up to $4,000, had air conditionings. And if you were lucky, you got one of those. If you bought your car, well, you know what gas prices are like, especially in California, right? I don't remember this being that bad last year. I knew that one of the biggest issues was begging for brands to take influencers, micro influencers to Coachella. That was a thing. It amped up not just the people doing it, but the memes that go with it. Let's take a look.
I can't get a brand to send me to Coachella for shit. I don't care if I sound like a whiny influencer right now. Let me sound like a whiny influencer for 1 second. Just give me 1 second. And you know what? If you had a job where you could potentially get free tickets to things, free accommodations, you would want that too, okay? I want it back. Here's why I'm frustrated. Everyone I know has free tickets and or accommodations to Coachella this year, and I have literally pitched myself to 50 brands. Because here's the thing, tickets to Coachella are thousands of dollars. Accommodations to Coachella for 4 nights, lowest I've found is like $6,500. And Mama can't swing that right now. Mama has a mortgage. I don't want to be spending that on Coachella, but I want to go badly. And it's just frustrating when like every single fucking influencer I know is going to Coachella for free. I sound like a whiny brat. But I'm just like really frustrated because I know that like I'm offering these brands like crazy deliverables. I'm like, I'll make 8 TikToks for you, 3 grid posts on Instagram, 3 IG stories every day. And I make really entertaining content when I go on trips. I do. I'll give myself that. And I just know I'm gonna see these boring ass influencers going with a brand, everything's paid for, and they post like one thing over the course of 3 days. They're like, got ready with me for day 2. And they don't talk about shit. I'm sick of these boring influencers. Wait, hold on. If there's any brands watching right now, I swear I'm not crazy, but like I'll do anything for you, love. I'll rub your feet, I'll make 15 TikToks, I'll do it all.
Now, I need you to understand that there is another person that I'm going to show you now. She spent $160,000 to go. And, you know, she's pretty popular. Let's take a look at how she broke this down.
How much does it cost to go to Coachella with receipts? So obviously I am not a brand friendly influencer, so I had to pay for Coachella all on my own. And I'm going to Coachella with the entire Bop House, the assistants and stylists, so I had to get 12 tickets. We got 12 artist passes and a table at the main stage, and it ended up being $67,980. You guys know me, so obviously I booked a private jet, and a round trip to Coachella Valley cost me $37,490. We originally had an Airbnb booked way in advance for $29,000, but they canceled on us 3 days before the event, so we had to book another Airbnb, and that total was $83,375. And as I said prior, I got a stylist, and all of the clothes that she got me ended up totaling to be $5,000. So the total cost for 3 days at Coachella is $192,845.86. Do you guys think this is worth it?
Well, I guess if you have the money or if you have the brand that backs you up, it makes sense. At least she didn't spend $160,000 for a spot in the desert. But it goes to show that what Coachella was supposed to be has not been that way, because the people that were performing are not indie, small time musical performances. So if I'm going to spend that much money to be in the desert to watch Justin Bieber or any of these other people, then I guess I would need to spend $160,000, because my ass is not getting on that desert. Not a tent, not a car, nothing. I don't love any one person to want to even do that. That's what I don't understand. What is the love here? And then it becomes an influencer Olympics. Where the hell did this coin phrase come from? Because now everybody is stylizing themselves. Or if you have the money, you're spending $10,000 for a stylist to wear almost nothing because it's hot. Everybody else is going to be wearing the same type of outfit: bikini top, dresses, cowboy boots, whatever. There's nothing. There's no gowns. There's nothing. How would you do that? To take pictures for your gram, your TikTok, your YouTube, the brands, and are people that are actually influencers telling their followers that this is what they should be buying? And when a influencer is begging online to the brands, any brand, because remember, it's any brand. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm making lunch, but this is day 2 of me begging a brand to let me go to Coachella. Please. I will film all the content. I will be like the nobody, okay? And then I will report back to us normal girlies and be like, okay, so like here's the tea on these influencers. And I will like tell y'all who like the nice influencers are. I will like tell you like what it's really like to be a nobody at these events. So like I think, also shout out to this rice. I got it for $1. Right rice. It's really good. Cilantro lime, and then the Mediterranean one is also like really good. I'm about to make it for lunch. Ooh, look at that. So yummy. But day 2 of me begging anyone to pay for me to go to Coachella. Peso Pluma is gonna be there. Are you kidding me? I love Peso Pluma. Which song should I sing for you?
So when you have followers and you are shouting out brands, anyone, because you don't care who it is, you will do whatever you want for them. How does this work for your followers? Do they support you and say, okay, whatever brand takes you, I'm going to buy that brand? That's what I don't understand. From a brand perspective, is this a good look? Is this something that is normal? That you're going to support someone that has never tried out your brand, has never showcased it to their followers, and they're begging for Coachella, and they'll do anything for you, but do they love your brand? Do they want to represent the brand, or is this a one-off thing? And then once the party's over, they're never going to showcase. Is there a contract that I'm missing here? Like, send me to Coachella and I'll represent your brand for a year. And just the logistics of screaming in public so everybody knows that you will do anything for anyone. Wouldn't this be the downfall of influencers? Because now we know 100% sure that a lot of the stuff that they're hawking onto us really doesn't resonate with them. They will bend over for any brand that will give them anything for free. How does that work in marketing? I would love a brand to come back and say, we don't like this. or explain the logistics behind this. They're going to take someone that they've never worked with because they're begging on TikTok and they figure they can take him there and they will do whatever they want. Is this like an amazing, opportunity for brands to, fleece this influencer so they fleece their, followers? Because this doesn't sound great. I wouldn't want to be part of that brand. Like if I saw an influencer begging and then she says she got, let's for example, hypothetically, that she got picked up from, I don't know, pick a brand. And she's never showcased this brand before. And now she's like, doing loop the loops for this brand. I would actually question the brand and I probably won't support it. Because I don't understand the logistics of this. Like, I want influencers that really believe in the product that they're representing. They've used it. They've consistently used it. They like it. There's pros and cons. Remember those days when influencers used to do that? And I understand this is a money and this is a optics thing, but the illusion has now been broken because now I really am 100% sure that not all, but many of them are bullshitting their way through these brand deals that they get. I'm going to be clear. If I ever get a brand deal, it's going to be something that I truly, truly believe in and want to share with you. And I'm going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly because nothing is perfect. I don't give a fur rat's behind what the F it is. It's not perfect. But if I truly believe in the overall effect of it, I'm going to share it with you. I'm not going to be, doing loop the loops for a brand that I've never, unless there's a brand that I'm interested in that allows me to test the product first before I go jumping off a cliff for it. I haven't found one yet, but there's only certain brands that I truly believe that I enjoy, me. That if they came to me, I have enough years behind it that it would be a very fast transaction for me because I truly believe in that product. Now, if that brand told me they wanted to send me to Coachella, I'm going to stop you right there. No. I don't care if you put me in the biggest house in the world. No. No, I don't want to. It's just ridiculous. I still don't understand why Jennifer Lopez, who's my age, is there. She's not great. Festivals, it's just not my thing. And then when I have to go and see all of the other variances and differences that are there, I'm going to feel like, what is happening here? What's going on? What are we doing here? I don't need any of that fancy pantsy smanchy stuff. I don't need for my followers to see me at Coachella with my new $10,000 stylist outfit, which is going to be a bikini top, probably a shirt or a skirt or skirt, with some boots and me sweating and what are you, nuts? Are you nuts? It's not cute. Now, it's not to say that people who like that, it's great. It's just not my jam. It's not. So you won't see me there. Let's go down to, we got through the anti-Woodstock, which is a lie because it looks exactly like Woodstock. Cultural hub. Oh, God. It has evolved into a premier event for fashion influencers. Fashion. Let's start with it a premier event for fashion. How fashionable can you be wearing clothes that at least you could put on because you're in the desert in the heat? I can see the same outfits on a beach, on a pool, on an influencer doing a haul. I don't understand this. Sorry, I don't. Influencer marketing. Coño, carajo, puñeta. This is the reason why we can't have anything nice. This is the reason why things get ruined. Because the minute people realize they can take advantage of anybody, anytime, anywhere, they go in and they're like vultures. And it's not every obviously influencer marketing, but it's becoming to a point that if I after again listening to all these people online, it's an abuse. And a large scale art installation serving as a massive multi-day in-person influencer. If I hear influencer one more time, I'm going to take a drink and I'll be drunk. Okay? Economic driver. Beyond music, the festival operates as a major commercial powerhouse for the region and massive revenue generated through the sponsors and ticket sales. I want to be clear on something. People are paying to live in squalor upwards of $4,000 when there's people who are begging to find appropriate housing on a salary. There are people who have paid 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000, over 100,000. That's a person's salary per year to take this event for 2-3 days. What they spent on a person's salary who is struggling to make ends meet, to find proper housing, proper toilet facilities. And there are people who are willing to spend $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 and more for a tent, a car, food, to watch non-indie people in the desert in the middle of California. Welcome to the Hotel California. Because it's not even that. It's not a lovely place. It's just not. And this is the schism that I don't understand that's happening in this country. I am all for you wanting to have fun. You want to spend your money. But when you go into enormous amount of debt to show pictures of an event that over 150,000 people attended, which will be showing the same pictures, when you're begging to go to this event for brand deals so you can bend over and take it, so your followers can watch you bend over and take it, when you are actually being with a brand and you're showing, I don't know what, your clothes, your hat, your food, what are you showing? And all to give love to these performers who are making, from what I understand, Justin Bieber, at least $10 million or more for 2 days to be singing. And I don't even know how much the other ones cost for a weekend in the desert, in the heat. Your money is going to that event. That's how you choose it. It's a little scary because what other choices are you making? And, you know, a lot of people can say, wait, people spend that amount of money to go to Disney. Yes, that's a whole other topic. But when you are paying it, what is it, by Klarna? Or, you know, you pay monthly on your credit cards and you're in debt. And then the majority of them are miserable. Where is the fun in that? What happened to the original plan? You go there and yes, festivals, normally you're you're in a tent or whatever, but this is not a tent. This is not a porta potty. This is squalor that you're paying premium prices that people would kill to have so they can find a decent place. You're actually paying to be homeless. I don't know how else to put it. And the only reason why it matters, it's because this is what the continuation of how we continuously put these things on a pedestal and allow it to happen. These things should not cost that much money. That was the intention. It should not cost you, 5 months worth of rent or a mortgage payment or several, or you're paying someone else's mortgage in one day or 2 days. Okay. It should be, I understand that we were all suffocating when we were in the house in the pandemic, but it's gone to a point where people will pay anything just to be hot and sweaty and disgusting and using these facilities or not using it, crying, begging. What? I don't see a way out of this. I just see that if enough people that have actually gone to this event, whether sponsored or not, stand up and say enough is enough, bring it back to zero, and let's start this again and make it more realistic, maybe something good would come out of this. Because I feel like I'm going to have this video again very soon, same time next year. And I actually expect it to be worse because I don't see this changing because as they say, it's the money, honey. And when you got the moolah and you got the money, people don't give a fairy rat's behind. Until something tragic happens, something ridiculous happens, then people are going to be like, oh, wait, maybe I should have stayed. You know how it goes. I had to say something as a Gen X because, I can't get out of it in my YouTube algorithm. Even though I keep saying I'm not interested, what's happening is that people that I follow are actually talking about this. And I don't want to say I'm not interested in the person that I'm following because I actually do like the people who I follow. So the algorithm keeps pushing this to me. So I went into TikTok, which I had to create an account and I don't want to use it to do any kind of videos because I think it's a stupid app. Okay. And I started realizing that there's a plethora of screaming, crying, bitching, moaning in there that I just had to share with all of you. And if anybody else has seen any of this, have any thoughts, and there are going to be people who might get mad because it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. And I totally agree with you. It's your money. You could do with you. You want to choose to stay in a place that looks like that and treats people like that. And you want to, look and fanboy or fangirl these artists that can easily be, not indie. Go for it. Good luck. Great job. Hey, by the way, in the middle of all this rant, which I didn't do, my name is Lena and welcome to my channel. And if this is the first time you're here, I'm not sure if I brought value to you, but I brought some insight and I thought made my thoughts, very clear about this. And I needed to say something because there's just some stuff that's coming up on my algorithm that is very disturbing. And this is one of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video or at least got some information that I didn't know about and would like to, comment and, let me know your thoughts about it. Were you there? Would you ever be there? Did you know any of this? What's happening? What's going on? Why? Stay tuned. I have more stuff coming about the things on my YouTube homepage. That's the only way I can put it. Because no matter what I do, the YouTube algorithm has controlled my homepage. So, I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, everyone.